Forward to the cloud. Fantastic. Okay. Welcome. Hi.
How
This
you
is
doing?
Pam Holtz. I'm the happy host today. I have the pleasure of being joined with by Andrew Hanson. Andrew is the owner, operator of Pond Life Vacation Rentals. And he's going to tell us all about his operation. He's going to first start by introducing himself and telling us how he got started as a short-term rental host. So Andrew, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And
Absolutely.
I'm one of them guys. I'm passionate about all things real estate. So
Okay.
that's kind of how I ended up landing over into the short-term rental industry.
Okay.
So
Okay. So are
yeah,
you a broker or an investor or
yeah, pretty much. I started as a young guy doing construction, always passionate, and moved to Hampshire very young. Got a job as kind of a maintenance technician.
okay.
Taking care of like anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 units in the Upper Valley, everything from senior housing to vacation rentals and high end, and
Okay.
kind of worked my way up to become a property manager, then asset manager, about 350 rental units throughout the state of New Hampshire, and then kind of was like this is awesome. Really worked for some great people. Opened up my eyes to a lot of things in real estate. Started a company called Cityscape. Started investing in real estate assets, fix and flips, holds. And it's grown into so much more. In Cityscape now, I do all the work for the foreclosure industry. Pretty much, we service all the bank
Oh, wow.
foreclosed real estate. So that's kind of my main company. Is we've been doing that for almost working on 12 years now, and we service that industry for realtors, investors, financial institutions, help support their real estate assets through the transition, on several real estate holding companies. And kind of by an adverse event in our life, kind of landed into Pond Life Vacation Rentals, which is brings me here with you and all kinds of great people in this industry. But I come from really humble background, basic beginnings. Moved to New Hampshire with a dream as a young guy, and kind of worked my way all the way up, breaking down a lot of different barriers. I don't have no college degree or anything like that, but I'm very hands on. I understand what the maintenance guys are doing. So I understand pretty much all the levels of how everybody's kind of thinking about the process of it, and it's a good position for me to be in. It's been very good to lead other people. A lot of my employees have been older than me, and they even look up to me. So it's been a lot of fun, kind of working my way through the real estate industry as a whole. But landing over in short-term rentals, I never realized how much I would love hospitality. It's something.
That's, your background is fantastic. I mean, that's a great way to come to all this because all of the important kind of back end stuff
Yeah,
that every host needs to know about, needs to have somebody who knows about it. If it's
exactly.
not them, somebody on their team has to know what you know. So what a great way to come into it. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
we try
exciting.
when I try to carry over the sound property management principles I bring, over, and I think that's very professional. I had a discussion kind of with Sally yesterday about that, saying, the more and host like you and all the great people in this book that we're going to be working on is if you think about that, these people all try and teach people how to be professional hosts and bring sound principles to the industry. And I think that's very very important.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it makes it reflects the industry as a whole and how it can be professional. So we try to bring that over to what we're doing. I'm fortunate too. My wife, kind of same thing. When she moved up with me, I've been with her forever. But she landed a basic job in the file room in the bank and kind of worked her way up to an officer at the bank as well. And so she brings a lot of underwriting and analysis and that type of background, to our team for real estate. But Pond Life kind of came about at a time of adversity in our life. Pretty much in the name. And I left this out. I really should have thought about this, but things are moving so fast sometimes. But we kind of came up with the name of we live in fortunate enough to be living on the water, which is an unbelievable thing.
Yeah,
So
it's
we live
nice.
on a waterfront property, and we're living on the pond, and that's kind of our life. Putting the dock in and out, having the boat, having we have a couple different properties like this, and we're living a really really good thing, and that's kind of what it was. It was like, let's call it Pond Life Vacation Rentals. Let's kind of share what we're doing, Pond Life, and let's share
Perfect.
it with others. Let's give people access to open air, water, the things that just really connect humans, human nature, to me, and brings out the best in us. So that's kind of how we get started with Pond Life Vacation Rentals. Time of adversity, started with it right in the pandemic,
Mm.
as well, with this new venture. A lot of skeptics and people saying, it's management intensive. What direction are you going in? We really enjoy what we're doing, what we're offering. And like I said, I never realized how much I really, I love people anyway. So this is just, for me, it's great to be able to share. And I understand the value, the real value of someone's hard-earned money, whether they're spending it for 2 nights, a week vacation, on a family. So we really put a lot of effort, into what we're doing to make sure that they have an unbelievable stay with us at Pond Life Vacation.
It's interesting, excuse me, it's interesting that you mentioned getting started during a transition, time of adversity. I have this statistic that's in my mind that is so relevant for so many people. Airbnb says that 84% of hosts begin hosting at a time of transition. So death,
Right.
relocation, marriage, empty nesting, all kinds of, uh, you know, disruptions in our regular life lead to situations where people end up hosting. And I think that's, in most cases, I think that's fantastic because I find hosting to be such a viable option for people. And something that you can step into in a lot of cases with a pretty low barrier to entry.
Yep.
And not, how many businesses, how many, really high functioning businesses can you kind of just step into without a lot of prep work, a lot of funding, a lot of,
Yeah.
education and all kinds of, training and background before you start to step into this.
Yeah.
Is that how you came to it? Did you find it to be something that you could step into pretty easily?
Yeah, I mean, we were I was doing traveling nurses and that kind of thing so I had some relative background, with furnished units, but really the Airbnb and that type of it came, I had an account, we were traveling, we were
Hmm.
staying in STRs,
Okay.
too, and going, oh, this is great. And we prefer to travel. We have a little French bulldog. We go everywhere with our dog. So, our guest avatar, we're looking for that, and kind of for our places and kind of saying, well, we're sitting on something as well. And yeah, for us, it was probably a little bit, maybe even easier kind of a flex, where we had some ownership of some real estate. But yeah, I think people are sitting on an unbelievable opportunity. I think that even home sharing on a even like a very small level is a very powerful tool. And I have a real quick story I'd like to share. I don't want to eat up
Please.
too much time, but most recently it's a story that kind of affected my family. This is why I think home sharing is powerful. Is my mom, she gets some news that her brother is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Horrible thing to have happen. She wants to be with her brother during a time of need. Well, my mom's a regular person. She has to go to work. She has one mortgage. It's so. What does she do? Well, she goes for the risk. She finds a local STR down the South Shore of Massachusetts, closer to be near her brother. So there's the power of her being able to find a place open to go to quickly.
Yes.
And then obviously looks to me for some advice. And it's, we have to now depersonalize her 3-bedroom home, flex it, close off a couple rooms, but we were able to flex that property into a nice king bedroom, one bath, perfect. And it's been able to help cover my mom's mortgage, carry her through this transition. And this is why I believe that, neighbors need to not be so quick to jump on neighbors. Politicians and legislators need to pay attention. There are some real stories here of home sharing and stories how it can and really help just a regular person on a regular level who, without a lot of money, my mom could flex that. Her mortgage is covered, the economy's stable, she's able to go down there, she's spending money still down there at her other. So to me, it's a win-win really for a lot of people. And again, it's win-win if it's done professional. And that's what my biggest tip is to people is to reach out for professional advice, stick to sound principles, and that will help us too as an industry. But it's just the most recent story. This has really just happened to me within the last 4 months, and we were able to make it work, flex it for my mom. You remember too, it is tougher for older people who have been, to change and flex, and this is very new to them, but there's a way to do it correctly, professionally. It's only going to be a temporary thing for her, but it's again, it has a great effect on my family to be able to help out during this time, and
Your story is exactly why I want to build a platform to help people, because I feel like the original intent of Airbnb was to, have people in your own home, welcome guests in your home. And so my whole niche is folks who are renting their home or a property that they acquire through, the death of a parent or a spouse or a divorce. And now they have this property, and what are they going to do with it? And the beauty of this whole thing is they don't have to, they don't have to sell it if they don't want to, and they
right,
don't have to, go the route of the long-term tenant, which is there's nothing wrong with the long-term tenant. But if you could make 3 times, that's the average, 3 times more money with the property as a short-term rental, why wouldn't you do that? But at the same time, us regular folks are competing now, with boutique hotels and professional companies that have, whatever, manage thousands of units, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But we've got to kind of up our game because we have to compete on the same level as them. And so I really stress to people that, get a mentor, join a group, take a course, cling on to some sort of community so that you can avoid the pitfalls, sidestep some of the, some of just the things that you wouldn't necessarily know about because you're not in hospitality business before this, but now you are, and to really use this home sharing strategy as a tool. Because home sharing dates back to forever ago, and at least in my parents' generation, it was a lot more common than people would lead you to believe. I mean, there are people that think it just was invented when Brian Chesky decided to, blow up an air mattress. This has been going on for years and years and years and years and years, and it's viable, and it's worthwhile, and I get real emotional about it because it really does help a lot of people. It helps a lot, especially seniors. It helps them stay in their homes and pay their bills when they might not otherwise be able to do that. And a story like yours is absolutely the kind of story that that makes me want to help more people know how to do this well. So I wish the best for your mom and her brother. I understand that situation. It's it's heart tugging, and I'm glad she was able to find something that worked for her. That's fantastic.
Yep, I mean, it's working. She's down there. She's able to be with him, and we're obviously able to help her here on the back end, so that helps her out a lot. But it's the type of story we're trying to share to show the more basic level too of home sharing. Me, I'm going for we're 8 properties going to about 10 here in a couple months, and we're active investors, so I own everything, so that's our approach. We own all our own real estate. We own all the furniture. We own just about all our amenities, the pontoon boat, the kayaks. That's just kind of who I am in it. I'm very hands on. But
So what do you like to
on
stay at your properties? What, if I'm a guest, what am I gonna do at your properties? Are they all clustered together, or is it?
We have a few clustered on the same pond, which we're very fortunate to have. And then one of my shops and locations is actually on another pond. So our headquarters is on a very pond. So that's kind of the pond life theme is a lot of our properties are in Croydon, New Hampshire, which is a very rural, small, quiet town. You can drive 4 wheels on the road still. You go down, you vote, you raise your hand. People still have the debates. It's a very unique town. New Hampshire is a very unique vacationer's type of paradise. It's always been that way. I grew up in the South Shore, Massachusetts, and everybody always wanted to escape to New Hampshire for the vacations. So everybody comes up here. We have 4 great seasons. Some call it 5. There's mud season up here. So
Okay,
season.
all right, try to
You know,
avoid that one.
yeah, but we have all our seasons, and it's unbelievable, from skiing to being on the pond. So we have people that come up, and we just got through our ski season. Very busy. A lot of people coming up to Mount Sunapee. That's a big season for us. We kind of hit mud season, which is when all the dirt roads melt out in our areas, and the equipment, the trucks can't travel on them. Services kind of slow down. Development, construction slows down just a tiny bit for the roads to dry out. Then things kind of kick back up. So we're going to be
That's
working
so,
on.
I'm a straight up city girl, so
Yeah,
dirt
it's a
roads.
lot
I'm like,
different.
what?
Yeah, and I'm from the South, South Shore of Massachusetts, below Boston. So up here in the country is different, but it gives me a great perspective of things.
Great.
Of all people, and the differences in us. Yeah, that's kind of why I love traveling. So we're switching to dock season, putting the docks in. So our properties, you can either come up for the different seasons. So our docks are going in, so you can be coming up to hang out at our honeymoon cabin, which is a water access cabin. You can stay, right on the water. You can rent kayaks from us to kayak around. So it's really a really special place to be. This season, we're offering a pontoon boat to rent. So with the waterfront properties, that's really special. To me, I come from nothing. I come from a very poor family, and whenever I took the first picture of my family sitting on the dock, yeah, it was my nephew and my wife after we just acquired our first water access property, and taking a picture of them with their feet hanging off it in the water is a great memory. And that's the type of memory that I want other families to have. So we offer our properties up to people of all walks of life. So whether it's dipping your feet in the water and just hanging out, or renting a pontoon boat, or coming up just to go hiking here in New Hampshire, we're really catered to recreation. That's kind of what it's about for me at Pond Life. We have a new property we bought, which is a direct waterfront. Has a 240 square foot tiny home on it. Very adorable.
How
It's
cute.
right off the water's edge, and it's very nice. I just got permitted to have a second tiny home built on a foundation above it, 490 square feet. So it's going to be a very unique property. Two tiny homes, on a direct waterfront.
Tiny homes are all the rage right now.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do that. And then we have another land lot we're working on, which is again close to a lake, rural town, 600 feet from the launch, and hoping to do a couple of micro homes, which are a little different than tiny homes. They're kind of getting a little thing. They're starting to move around. I'm trying to. People say, "Oh, what is a micro home?" So I'm getting to teach all kinds of people about them. But they're starting to do them out in Texas and Florida, and they range a little higher than a tiny home. They're like 650
Yes.
to 1,400 square feet. They're on a
Yeah.
foundation. They're a little bit more realistic, but they're a good way to do affordable housing now, and you can do them very unique and cabin style, and so that's kind of what we're looking to do, and we just bought a place down in Sarasota, Florida, so we're offering a place down in Florida. We're looking to kind of grow up and down the East Coast. My goal is probably 25 to maybe 50 properties myself would be kind of the goal. I'm kind of looking at stuff that's a little different, like I'd like 10, 12. So anybody listening that's interested, I'm looking for multiple type of cabins situation, a little larger scale project.
Nice.
That's kind of what I'm interested in kind of growing, or a boutique type hotel or something unique to kind of add to the portfolio. But I don't want to, I also am a regular real estate investor, so I do regular apartment buildings. We do boat storage, stuff like that. I do commercial real estate. I'm able to rent downtown places to other businesses where they get to run their businesses from, which is very even specialer to me. I have a lot of passion involved in quality housing overall, no matter what we're doing. I got to stay focused on that too. But the
That's a lot.
STRs
That's
have
a
just
lot.
they knocked me over. The short-term rentals have really gravitated me. Being able to provide a place, whether they're coming up for a wedding, or they're coming up to look at moving to New Hampshire, and you get all these digital stories in short-term rentals, and you get to meet all these people, and sometimes you only meet them in digital form, but it's still special. Everything that you get to hear and see. So that's I've been really leaning on this side of the aisle. The last 2 years very strongly. So I'm really excited to be over here in the STR industry and surrounded by so many great, people. I get to meet so many passionate people that all have their own little niche.
Right.
Um, it's like us in New Hampshire, we give a little bottle of maple syrup to every guest. It's a very big thing, maple season. And if you've never been to a maple syrup shack, I mean, up here you got 3 generation farmers,
Wow.
a lot different where I grew up in south of Massachusetts. So, it's a lot of passion into what those guys are doing, and really special when you can see 3 or 4 generations of family doing something like that. So, and I get to meet all these people. I'm sure you yourself, and all these little niches and little things that they do to touch people's lives. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be over in this space.
That's a good segue to the collaborative project that we're working on. So we all have the 40 plus of us each have a chapter that we've written for the Hospital Bill Host book. Without giving it away,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what your chapter discusses.
Well, I'm gonna hit on a guest story. To me, that's super special. You only have so much room in these things, and so I touch on that, and I try to touch on how that affected me. It's a really cool story, and it touched my
Ooh.
family. I share 5 what I think are 5 solid tips. Of course, I put emphasis always on sound principles. That's very big to me, offering advice for people to make sure that they're properly protected. So that's
Wow.
one of my biggest things, to make sure before you go jumping over, let's make sure everything's right. Let's see, how far are you going? Is this temporary? You gonna go, way in? We gotta do some entity structure, all kinds of different things. So I try to touch on a guest story, some solid tips, and I share kind of what brought me to New Hampshire, its vacation paradise. A little bit about what I share with you, my background in maintenance, how I kind of worked my way up through the ranks, and how I kind of slid over a time of adversity in my life into the short-term rental space. So I'm super excited about it. It's definitely pushed me to come out of my shell a lot of things. I had to get an Instagram account going, get my socials up to speed. All these things I've totally been, honestly procrastinating on. I'm so hands-on in the field and doing things that this is something that I've long been behind on. So
Uh, there's a lot to do, and it's hard to know what to focus on, but it sounds like you are scaling so quickly that you're focused on that.
yeah,
I really look forward to your chapter. I'm super touched by your mom's story. I mean, it just gave me goosebumps with that one. I just relate to that so completely and utterly.
yeah,
And I want to thank you for taking the time out both this week and last week to connect. And it's been a pleasure meeting you.
you
And
too.
I hope we can maybe meet up in person. I've never been on a pontoon before. Uh,
Oh,
no, I know. I've seen them. So, it's in my
yeah.
future, I
You
hope.
come stay with me. We'll rent you.
I
We'll
would
add the
love
boat
to.
as the rental for the weekend.
I would love to. I want to
We'll
see
take
those
great
dirt
care of you.
roads and everything. So
Yeah.
thank you for your time. And I want to encourage everybody who's listening to get the book, head right to Andrew's chapter and find out about his story and his advice for future short-term rental hosts. So Andrew, thanks so much. I hope we stay in touch.
You bet. Thank you so much, Pam. I really appreciate being here with you, and really happy to get to collaborate with you. And big thanks to Jody Sterling for everything she's
Absolutely.
done and helping to push me always outside my comfort zone. So
I love it. I love it. Talk to you
thanks to
soon.
everybody. Yeah,
Take care.
you too. Bye bye.